Hey guys, happy midnight everybody, happy Moss Book 2 Day. My name is Brian Powell. I'm going to sit here, right down here in the middle of this library, in VR. I'm going to read a little tale about a little mouse in a little world, getting into a whole lot of fucking trouble. So I'm about 20 minutes from beating this game. I tried to finish it up before this stream so I could have like full in-depth impressions, and I think I have full in-depth impressions, but I haven't actually beaten the game yet. But I did start a brand new game, and as you can see, it looks very much like the old game.
Dear reader.
All right, now the thing is most of you guys are going to play this for yourself, so I think it's probably in everyone's best interest that we sort of just skip all this story. We'll just skip all the story. Let me know how the sound is, guys. I'm gonna make sure the volume isn't too high or too low.
You're still here? Then you should have this. You can thank me later. Or maybe before. Who knows? Quill searched the castle entrance for her uncle's sword. He'd insisted they'd never reach the king's glass without it. Quill was shocked to find it hiding in plain sight. She must have missed it last time around. After all,
Fuck.
in grave danger.
Sorry, guys. Shit never goes right, does it? Alright. Alright. Hope everything's back up and running. Here we go. So as you can see, everything looks kind of the same, right? That's sort of how the whole first chunk of this game is. Quill looks the same, moves the same, and it kind of sounds the same. It's sort of like just more moss for a little bit.
They had to hurry. Her poor uncle was too injured to defend himself should the arcane find him again.
There you go. So you can see that I'm getting trophies now, and so I was getting trophies all day. So I instead of running the risk of saving over the game that I'm playing, or even losing any of the progress I've made in the final chapter, I just decided to sign in on one of my alternate PlayStation accounts, and that way the game thinks I've never played it before. But I will say that I've been playing it all day, and I think that it's definitely a decent length. I think I'm about 6 hours into it, or maybe I'm coming close to 6 hours. I might hit the 6 hour mark when I beat it. So unless something drastically different changes in the last chapter of the game, I think it's going to be about a 6 hour game. And now, even though the review keys came in late, I still took my time, because I didn't want to ruin the game for myself. I wanted to make sure that I enjoyed it, because Moss isn't a game that you really want to rush through. So that's what I did. I kind of took my time. I explored a lot. I collected a bunch of, I broke everything in sight. Anything that you could break, I went and broke it. And I'm just about done with 6 hours. And I mean, it is a solid follow-up. Has anybody checked the PlayStation Store? This game should be out now at midnight, and I'm curious to know if it's $30. They never said in the press release, because $30 I feel like would be the appropriate price for this, for the level of polish and the amount of game you get. And even at 6 hours, I know that I didn't do everything. I know that there's still scrolls to find. I know that there's areas that I didn't discover, I guess, because there's a little bit of a Metroidvania element. I wouldn't call it a Metroidvania, but I would say that there's Metroidvania elements, and I think if you go back far enough, oh, it's $40, huh? That's too bad. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's a longer game, but I feel like things have changed a little bit over the last few years, and I felt like to stay competitive, $30 would have been a good price point. But you know, Blood and Truth was 5 hours, and that was $40. And we've definitely paid $40 for a lot worse games. Now, the thing is that even though the game starts off very, very similar to Moss Book 1, it gets not a lot different, but like it just starts feeling like a bigger adventure, a much bigger adventure than the first game was. You start getting, there's actually an inventory that you can bring up by hitting the touchpad, which I have nothing right now. So I hit the touchpad, nothing happens. There's an inventory you can bring up. There's different weapons that you get. I think currently, unless something changes in the last half of the last chapter, I think there's 3 main weapons that you have. There's a sword, a hammer, and some boomerang type frisbee with blades on it. This has got to be a really good name for that. I just don't know what it is. Pro Enhanced, huh? et.2k9.now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good looking game. It looks like Moss Book 1. So if you like the way Moss Book 1 looks, then you'll definitely like the way this looks. The other part about this, oh, GC, good question about the puzzles.
Uncle Argus.
Oops.
Quill was relieved to find him safe.
Here, we'll let this happen.
You wouldn't believe where it was. You know, I never realized just how huge Zarkbog was.
Shh! Lower your voice, Quill. We're not safe. He could be anywhere. The king's glass hides beneath the throne. We must move quickly and quietly. Your reader. Are they still here?
Yes, Uncle. They're right by my side. We're twofold. We aren't afraid of the arcane.
I see,
He said with a hint of pride.
Now, keep your ears open and your sword ready. We must get to the throne.
So here you'll see that one of the things they've changed is that there's different camera angles within the same room now. And this happens quite a bit. Sometimes it happens when you don't want it to. Very, very seldom is that the case. For them, like 9.5 out of 10 times, you're like, oh, thank goodness they changed the camera angle. That's perfect. So you're collecting dust, scrolls. It's pretty much the same thing as the first game. I will say though that, you know, when I said that the graphics are pretty much the same. What? Does anybody know why Drew's calling me?
No sign of the arcane here.
That's what worries me.
Uncle, look out!
can't see you, but I know you're up there, Reader. Please, she's in your hands now.
Alright guys, sorry. I don't know what's going on. Apparently there's some issue. Is anybody else having audio issues? Hearing a conversation or something? Because Drew said that there was a conversation coming through the stream. Is anyone else hearing that? Because I don't even have Discord up.
Quill didn't understand. He was her family. He'd always come first. But she knew better than to argue.
So anyway, getting back on track. Sound seems fine to Dark Angel. Okay, no issues. Good. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. All right, perfect. Excellent. So what I was going to say is that there's the first game. Like, this looks as good as the first game, but the weird thing is that it looks as good as the first game, but at the same time, we're going to get into some environments that are so much bigger, and so it does start feeling like less like a diorama and more like a, look at Quill in this fucking ginormous world. And like, even in this enclosed area, you can kind of get that impression, which I thought was like kind of cool and like something that you got occasionally, I think, in the first game, but I'm not sure if ever to the degree that this game does it. So it's funny because before the game came out, I was like, I wished, after talking with Cooley Callahan and the dude from Polyarch, I was like, it doesn't sound like they're, doing much with scale. And as it turns out, I feel like they did a whole lot with scale, just like in a different way than I was expecting them to. And you'll see as soon as we get into some outdoor areas exactly what I mean. Now, as far as the puzzles go, dude, for a good percentage of this game, it feels so much easier than the first game. Because you would eventually get into some places in the first game where it was you're like, here's a puzzle, and you just have to sit there and stare at the puzzle and go, I don't know what the fuck to do, right? And then you finally figure it out. This game, for the most part, isn't like that until it is, and there's a couple really daunting puzzles, but I still think they're well done. I think most of them are just more time consuming and make you think for longer periods of time, but I don't think frustrating. Once you figure out the solution, it only takes a couple of attempts to really get it right. Okay, I'm popping trophies left and right. I have trophy notifications off on my standard profile, on my regular profile, and so I didn't see all these trophies popping today when I was playing through. This is great. I'm so glad to see that there's a lot of trophies. I'm just popping off. But yeah, the puzzles are the puzzles I think are good overall. And then then there's a couple weird difficulty spikes, and maybe it's just me. Everybody's different when it comes to puzzle solving, but. Yeah, there's definitely a couple where it's just like, you walk into a room and you look around and there's like 3 different exits and there's like 3 touchpads on the floor, and then on top of it, it's it's just one of those things where it's you walk into a room and you go, I'm gonna be here for a while, and it's almost like there's like a level of disappointment I think I feel when that happens. When I go, I don't know, man. It's like, do I hope it autosaves and come back to this later, or when I have some more energy, or do I just plow through it and get it done? And that's what I did for the most part today. I kind of plowed through things, but at the same time, I did take my time. So I don't know. The answer is I'm really fucking happy with this game, like really happy. I've been enjoying it all day, and again, 6 hours, $40 again seems a little on the steep side. But that's but I guess I kind of understand where they're coming from. Alright, so I mean, very similar puzzles, you know, to the first game for quite a while too. It takes a little while for things to start feeling different, and I did miss a scroll back there, but you know. Let's see how this goes. What's up, Dusty Dog? I like breaking things, not gonna lie. I like breaking things as the reader, I like breaking things as Quill. I like breaking things by smashing statues into them. I just like breaking shit, don't mind me. Ooh. Yeah, did Quill... So, I literally just finished playing Boss Book 1 on the channel, like, days ago. And, oh, thank you so much for the tip, Tiff, I appreciate that. So did Quill talk in the first game? Dude, I literally just played all through Moss Book 1. But like, I don't remember Quill talking. Did she? And if she did talk, she talked very minimally, or at least it was just in the storybook pages. I can't remember what it was, man. I just don't remember her talking. And she talks a lot in this game. She didn't talk, huh?
Was awestruck. This was the legendary throne room, the same room where her uncle was once knighted by the king.
She talked very little. Okay. Oh, she didn't talk. Man, does people in the chat have different opinions on this? I mean, this interior alone.
All clear. She called back to her uncle.
I've waited years for this moment. By all that's good in this world, I hope it's still locked.
All right, we're gonna skip through the story because you guys can experience the story for yourself when you play it for yourself. We're gonna get back to the gameplay.
Her uncle's belief in her and the reader swelled Quill's pride. They had a sprite army to inspire and the 5 glass to unite. And it all started with claiming the King's Glass.
I mean, look at this place. So much to break. And again, I think even the interiors have a bigger sense of scale, like, or a bigger presence. There's just more to each one. So again, it just feels like a bigger world. And man, I just love breaking all this stuff. But let's go Yep, you're all gonna have to buy it to see the story. Was that an Alvin and the Chipmunks joke I just heard in the chat? Oh, look at this! The first time I played through it, I was breaking everything in sight. Like, I wouldn't leave a room until I broke everything. And so all the dust you collect unlocks the door. Unfortunately, I did not. Oop, there we are. See the camera angles, man. Here, let's break a few more things. I don't know how much more dust I'm gonna get. Hey. So collecting all this dust unlocks that door, and inside those doors, this is where you get like different armor and shit. So, like, it's absolutely worth doing. I just don't know. There's still scrolls, Diz, yeah. Yep, so there's a lot of collectibles going on here. There we go. I collected enough dust. There we go, popping trophies. Yeah, I should check to see how many more trophies I have on my regular account. So here we go. So we just pop that there, and now this is our inventory. You tap the touchpad, and you can open up the armor tab and plop it on her. And now we've got a little outfit and a new trophy. So that's it. Okay. All right, so we're off and running, guys. We got new jacket. We got, I don't know. We got stuff. We got stuff. We're running. We're running. We're running.
Two down, 3 to go, thought Quill, excited by the adventures ahead.
All right.
Barnard was clear. She'd find quick passage to the sprites through the Room of Realms.
Man, lots of cool cats in the chat. What's going on, everybody? It's good to hear everybody's name. Hopefully you're all doing well tonight. Good to see you. Good to hear your names. Dude, it's been a long day, man. Getting whenever you get review keys, like, I don't know, just a few hours before the game comes out, you're like,
green glow of the sprite
you don't even know what to do with yourself. You don't even know what to do with yourself. So I decided, the last thing I want to do is rush this review. I didn't want to rush through the game, so I thought this was the best way to handle it. Be like, hey, hang out with you guys and play, just show you guys like what that the gameplay is exactly what you're hoping it would be. More of the same, but better, improved. And there's all these different abilities that we've already kind of seen in the trailers and whatever. You're gonna be able to grow paths, connect these things eventually. There's more things for you to do as the reader to interact with Quill and to help her through. So it feels like the correct step forward. Like, it's a safe step forward, but it's still a good step forward. Considering that, we're not using more powerful hardware. This is still very much a Moz Book 1 came out on PSVR, and PSVR 2 is not here yet. So I feel like this was a safe step forward. Be like, okay, well, we're still working with the same hardware. There's not too much more we can do with it. And of course, they're going to want this thing to run on Quest, so there's not really much more you can do with it at all. So, again, I think they made all the right moves. See? There's a little scroll over there. We can totally go get it if we want to, but I don't know.
Sprites can cross here.
Oops.
Croaked an unseen voice.
I have the green glass.
I'm your champion.
Oh, fine then.
The voice grumbled.
But no one here is calling you champion.
I love it. Quill walks in here like the boss. She's like, I'm your champion. And this door is like, you ain't no fucking champion. You can come in, but we ain't calling you that shit. It's like the game smacked her down, put her in her place. It's like, even the doors tell me I ain't shit. I love it. So again,
As if the castle of her people
look how
had
big
been
this is.
plucked from its roots and planted among the vibrant hues of the sprites. Quill marveled at the magic of it all as she hurried to rally the sprite army.
Here, let's go get that scroll. We don't really need to get the scrolls or anything. I'm not going to keep the save game, but still. So not multiple viewpoints. There's not multiple viewpoints in this game. What it is as you progress through the stage, the camera automatically switches. Almost like, you know, like an old Resident Evil game with pre-rendered backgrounds and shit. So, which I think is a smart move. I'll be honest though. I think it's still very much a safe move. I think this game would have benefited so much if the camera sort of scrolled along with us and just kind of give us that more dynamic feel, like as if we were like on a treadmill next to the action and we were just moving along with her. Or like, I mean, I don't know, these worlds are big enough and they rendered enough detail all around that if they actually had a dynamic over-the-shoulder camera, like there's definitely things they could do in the future. You know, especially if PSVR 2 is as good at with the haptics in the headset at like reducing motion sickness. But obviously they want as many people to play this as possible, so I get it, and that would have been like probably a major engine overhaul.
Croaked the toad.
If it isn't the world's smallest snake slayer.
Sarfog was only the beginning. We're here to ask Veda and the sprites to join our fight.
Impossible!
The toad scoffed.
Root-seer Veda, revered leader of the Maya sprites and astute seer of the fates and patterns of nature's purview, does not take walk-ins.
Please, our fates depend on it. I need to speak with her.
And I need a nap. Fine. You're the champion. So prove it. Follow this little bud here. See where that leads. Then by all means, come back here and walk right in. Now shoot.
So I'm pretty sure this is the same frog from the Twilight Garden DLC. I can't imagine
his
there's
behavior curious, but the sprite bud seemed eager to help her reach Veda.
Wow. Yeah, so I actually did experience a couple bugs on my first playthrough earlier today, and I mean, nothing game breaking, but a couple just like little rough edges where there was one point where I was climbing across binds like this, and my characters stopped animating and just started sliding across, and then it was really, really tough to get where I was going because like it wasn't interacting with the environment properly. And there's just a couple small things like that where it was just like, oh man, like you could tell they were working on this till the last second, and like yeah, they there's a couple of rough edges still, but again, you know, it's like 2 or 3 things that I experienced over the course of 6 hours, and none of it game breaking. So that's good at least. And hopefully they, hopefully they can get a patch out for the for a few of those things. But I mean, really, overall, it's really hard to complain. So no, you don't get to keep your abilities from the DLC. You do reacquire some abilities though. You acquire some really cool abilities. There's an ability for each weapon actually. See you later, Alberto Mapom Kim Gato. Yeah, I heard somebody in the comments say, or somebody in the chat say that it seems story heavy, and there are definitely some story heavy moments. You know, there's the library where you're just reading the story or having the story being told to you, and then there's also there's also in-game story, but it's all it's all just more of everything that was in the first game. And the gameplay variety is actually really fucking good. I gotta say, they really start mixing it up around the halfway point. So, again, if you really like the first game, then I think you're really gonna like this game. At first I was like, wow, this does seem like the exact same game. So I don't blame anyone for thinking that so far in the first 20 minutes. But, say it from somebody who's played the game all day long. They do a pretty good job of mixing shit up. Am I really having trouble climbing up on this thing? Yeah, I guess I'll take the long way. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so easy. It's so easy to just get focused on what you're doing and solve the puzzle and look around at just the important things, and then you look up and you go, "Holy shit! Look around here!" Like, as pretty as Moss Book 1 was, they went above and beyond with Book 2. Kill artist. Alright, so we're just trying to get there, huh? That's... Yeah, Jamie, yeah, that's an excellent point, man. That is an excellent point. If you played Moss Book 1 and it's not your style of game, I don't think Moss Book 2 is going to change your mind. So for anyone curious, I would say maybe get the first game first. Especially considering this is a direct sequel, a direct continuation of... Whoa. Let's heal up. Hey, I said let's heal up! And you stop it over there. we'll just possess that guy and we'll hold him on a leash. That way he can't hurt us while we're coming up to kick his ass. Alright, off we go. And there's a lot more to do in pretty much each of these rooms. There's a lot more to do in each of these rooms. There's and as you gain abilities, there's a good reason to come back to them. I will say the game kind of brings you back through the rooms. It like just kind of like saying, okay, well we need to get back to this place over here, and you sort of end up as you go hitting all the key points, all the places you need to go. So it's not, I wouldn't call it like Metroidvania in the traditional sense where it's like, okay, now let's go explore the very, very beginning. Although I do think there's elements of that I haven't seen, because even though I'm taking my time, I'm not going way out of my way to see every single thing and being like, okay, do any of my new abilities affect what I saw in the very first room in the game? So I think even though I'm going to say like it clocks in around 6 hours or so, you could probably spend even more time in the game collecting all the scrolls and you know, making sure that you didn't miss anything in any room. Oh, let me open that for you.
Dearest reader, the sprites have granted you the means to inspire growth in this world. Use this gift wisely, and Quill's path will flourish.
Jay, it's $40, man. Which I think was kind of a little surprise to everybody. Yo, what up, Lars? Thanks for joining us, man. 6 a.m. in Norway, huh? Yeah, the game's really good. I came real close. I came real close to beating the game earlier today, and I will finish it off first thing in the morning and get to my review and have that out tomorrow. I just wanted to give you guys some impressions. Yeah, it's easily a high 8, low 9 kind of thing. I got to see kind of how I feel once I've rolled credits. So, hey, what's up, Wes? Thanks for joining the stream, bud. So you can see that when I got the class, I gained some new abilities. I can create some shit to climb on a wall, and I can blink, create bridges. So just again, more things to do as the reader, which is I think really important. I think it's really good.
No walk-ins, huh? Quill smirked to herself, recalling the toad's words. Now they could go back and make their own path to Veda.
Alright, let's go, let's continue on our quest here. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the $40 price tag, I'm not gonna lie. I think everyone thought that Moss Book 1 was slightly overpriced, like slightly, but the fact is like we've gotten a lot of $20 games that don't come anywhere close to Moss Book 1. And I know we've definitely paid $40 for a lot of games that a lot of games we've gotten a lot of games you know, for $40 that have been not worth $40. So I mean, you know, I don't know. It's such a tough call. It's such a tough call. I'm curious to know how it's going to sell, to be honest with you, on PlayStation VR and, of course, when it eventually gets ported to other platforms. Because, you know, that's... I think the proof is in the pudding, right? People will decide for themselves whether they think that that's an acceptable price point. How's the sound? The sound is fantastic. The sound is... I mean, not that Moss Book 1 was anything to sneeze at, but Book 2 is... I mean, it's kind of perfect from an audio standpoint. All the little sound effects that Quill makes. I think the storybook thing can get a little bit old, and so hearing this, you know, the same woman's voice telling the story the entire time, I think that gets a little bit old. But still, besides that, I mean, just talking like from a technical standpoint, from a, you know, the soundtrack kind of kills it, and the sound effects are amazing. And the voiceovers for what they are good. I mean, I don't make games, but if I made this game, I would have gone a different way with that, which is, I guess, sort of irrelevant. But yeah, I will say, I teared up at one point in the game, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it again by the end. Here we go, let's do this. We'll build that bridge. And we'll do the run around, go the long way. I don't know if that was the best way to get there. Shoot. Did I not hit all the... I didn't hit all the thingies? Oh, I was just trying to get through it. I didn't hit all the thingies. All the vines are in my way. Here, let's hit some thingies. This should be an easy one, as long as this is the last one. Is that the last one? It's the last one. Sweet. Alright, we still got like 15 more minutes left in the stream. Braxbro, I'm on the last chapter of the game, so I don't know if it sets up for a book 3. I'm heading toward the last boss, and I don't know how much more I've got, you know, before. I don't know how much more story there is. I don't know how much, even how much more level there is before I get to the boss. So I'm so close to the end of the game, and right now it doesn't set up for a book 3. But who knows? Like, anything could happen at the end of the game. I don't even know what that last boss fight is like. Come on. Over here. Blow up our wall. Thank you. Here, let's grow some flowers. Grow a terrace? Is that what it's called? Trellis? That's one of those words is closer than the other one is. Alright, wait, where am I going? I gotta get up there. This is one of those silly things where I know. Oh no! No, I didn't mean to kill that! Oh. Yeah, all it was, the block was just raising up. It killed it. Come on, bring another one. Lattice? Is that it? That's the word? What the hell's trellis? I don't think trellis is anything. Like, wait, did he just kill himself again? There we go. Alright, here, get over here. Come on, and stay there. Alright, good. Now... No. You go back here. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna stand here. There we go. I feel like the music kicks in as you're solving puzzles to make you realize you're on the right track. and I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the music that I from the video I captured today. But I feel like twice during just this live stream, I sort of noticed that where I didn't notice it before. Whoa, 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 getting attacked from all sides here. Alright, here. Hey, take it easy, Kill Artist. Enjoy the game, bud. Why? I'm sorry. Why are we listing flat screen game after flat screen game after flat screen game in the chat with their price? Is it because because a lot of game developers are charging too much for their games? Because I think we're all in the same boat on that. I think we're all in the same boat there. I think we have all thought games have gotten a little bit too expensive. It's on all platforms too. I guess I'd love to say it's not happening on Switch, but Nintendo's still charging $60 for remasters of 20-year-old games, so I don't know. This game does need co-op, Wes. Oh no. Yeah, you stay there. We're not gonna bite you. There we go. Alright. So again, you know, every single area is just so much more, just so much bigger. It's I don't know, man. It's again so easy just to not pay attention to the shit around you. But that's not what Moss is about. I think Moss is paying attention to the things around you. Just seeing like every area you encounter.
Wait to see that crotchety toad's expression when they
just so
right
much
up
bigger.
To Veda's throne.
Yeah, the PS5 does take a while to get used to. I totally agree. I still don't like certain things that it does. I feel like they made some bad UI choices, I think, when it came to the PS5. Oh wait, what was I doing? Was I just heading back to... Oh jeez. See what happens, guys? See what happens when I don't pay attention? And I never pay attention. Doesn't help that I've already played this, and I am 6 hours further than this right now. So I'm like, wait, what was I doing right here? I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm just heading back. So according to the store, it does have a pro patch, which I mean the first one did too. It's
Looks like you may be able to walk in and
I
see
agree,
Veda
Brax.
after all.
Remarked the toad smugly.
Thanks for your help, Toad.
Help a rodent?
He croaked with exasperation.
Never. Now go bother Veda if you must. I could use the entertainment.
here. Now that we've got this new ability. Oh, can we pin games to the main screen now? Oh god, that was such a dumb thing on the PlayStation 5. I didn't realize we could do that now. I'm definitely happy about that.
Quill approached Veda's throne with the confidence
So-
of a champion.
Root Seer Veda, Sarfog is dead.
She proclaimed.
My reader and I stand before you now to ask for your help.
Yes. The winds carried swift word of your victory, Twofold.
Veda replied.
And for making safer our soil, we are grateful. We'd be honored to provide both you and Argus safe passage back to your home in the clearing.
Alright. So, I think this is probably... Yeah, this is probably a pretty decent place to stop, you guys, because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. The idea behind just doing the first hour was like we'd skip through a bunch of the pages, and I didn't want to show off too much. I wanted to show you guys that it was like, you know, that there's improvements to the puzzles, improvements to the interactions, being able to create those bridges, being able to, you know, create the trellises, the lattices, where you can grow the vines and everything, so you can climb up walls. So there's a lot more reader interactions, and there's a lot more, and the puzzles get a little bit more diverse than the first game did. And as you can see, as things happen in the game world, things start happening in our reader world, which is crazy. They mix up the shit in this. It almost feels like never-ending story-ish, right? Where, you know, the person who's reading the story, it's like the thing in the book is actually affecting them. And so that's why I don't want to get any further than this, because I feel like this is already maybe being like, oh, yeah, this was kind of a cool surprise when it happened. So I don't want to ruin any more than that. But just trust me when I say, guys, that like you really do have to like the first game. If you don't like the first game, the second one's not going to sell you. This is a bigger version of the first game with way more gameplay mechanics, multiple weapons, ways to charge up your weapons and use those for different puzzle solvings and combat. There's, you know, obviously the collectibles, everything, and it's a longer game overall. But again, it's still at its core, it's still Moss, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because, you know, if you didn't like the first, you're not going to like the second. But it does feel like if I ever went back to Moss Book 1 at this point, it would feel like less of a game, because this does evolve the formula enough where it's like, okay, I feel like I'm doing more things as the reader. I feel like I've got more interactions. I feel like there's enough for me to do, and more reasons to explore, and more reasons to backtrack, and different ways to open up, you know, paths that you saw early in the game. You know, that Metroidvania thing we talked about. So again, if you're a fan of the original, then I would say absolutely pick this up. The story's great, music's great, graphics great, environments, everything, and it's a lot of fun to play as both Quill and the Reader. But if you're not a Moss Book 1 fan, then no, stay away. Or if you haven't played Moss Book 1, then definitely start there and work your way to this game. But yeah, I mean, like I said, high 8, low 9, that kind of thing. That's sort of where I'm at with this. And of course, by tomorrow, I'll have completed the game. I'm so close, man. I'm like halfway through, maybe even further than that, through chapter I don't know, the 6th world. You can see these glasses here. Like I'm almost done. I'm heading real close to the final boss. But I don't know how the game ends yet. I played it all day today. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out. And again, with all the changes happening on the channel, you guys have been absolutely amazing and being super patient with me and all the changes. And hopefully we'll have some even more cool announcements for you soon. You guys all have a great night. I love you so much. I'm actually making the swipey hand swipe motion, but you can't see because I don't have move controllers. Love you guys.